Hi, I'm Kumar Sangakkara and you're watching
the newest and hottest cricket simulation podcast on the World Wide Web, FTP Weekly, with your host, Leon Stewart. Good morning, afternoon and evening, FTPers, and welcome to another episode of FTP Weekly. I just want to thank my newest subscriber, BC. Thank you very much. I should apologise to you actually. I'm not going to, but I probably should. Anyway, moving straight on to the Facebook Under 18 wrap. And I'm going to focus on the Octo Crush versus Southern Scorpions Amalgamated Cricket Club game. As if the Octo Crush won this game, they would have secured the title. A win by SSACC took them into the final round with the same amount of wins as Octo Crush. Now, Octo Crush batted first in the game, and Sargent was the destroyer for the Southern Scorpions, getting 3 wickets very quickly, and he ended up with 3 for 17 of 8 overs. But thanks to Saravji, who got 36, and Bulow, who got 54 not out, Octo Crush got the comfortable total of 189 runs. This total seems so much bigger when the Southern Scorpions at one point were 3 for 52 and then they were 4 for 53. But then a decent partnership between Nason and Forbes, with Forbes continuing the charge, got the Southern Scorpions home in the second last ball. Now with that said, the last round comes between this. Octo Crush are 5 wins and 1 loss. And their net run rate is plus 0.8477. Southern Scorpions, same wins as Octo Crush, but a 0.7697. So basically 0.07 behind Octo Crush, with both teams that they're playing towards the bottom end of the ladder. Southern Scorpions are playing Sando Super Kings, who are 6th on the ladder, and Octo Crush are playing Pokemon Poo, who are 7th. So, huge game, and that will probably fluctuate up and down during the rest of the week. Moving on from that, guys, and I want to welcome my friend Dum Phing. Dum Phing, welcome. Ah, yes, Leon, hello, how are you today? I'm good, how are you? I'm very good, thank you. I have a bit of a dilemma. Why do you have a dilemma? I've been doing these jokes many times before, but it's never done cricket joke, and this is cricket podcast. So I want to give you 3 cricket jokes today. Oh, okay. Alright. Let's hear them. Okay. First joke. The 2 clubmen were talking, and first one say to the second one, "You have hard time explaining the game of cricket to your wife, huh?" And he replied, "I certainly did. She found out I wasn't there." Oh, jeez, a bit tough to be that, man. Not bad, Dumb Thing. What else have you got? Oh, okay, this one good too. What is difference between Indian fielder and a condom? I don't know. One drops a catch and other catches a drop. Okay. What's your last joke? Oh, okay, this one very good. What a Pakistani version of LBW? I don't know. Lost, beaten, walloped. That's actually pretty good, Dumb Thing, but you actually probably didn't watch the last tour when Pakistan thrashed Australia. Apart from that, well done. Oh, thank you very much. Next week I come with more research jokes. Good idea. Moving on from Dumb Thing and his fantastic segment, rolled eyes, I want to explain about me, and this is sort of coming from the "If Only I Could Swing" segment from last week. It's sort of coming from the forum back exchange between me and BC. It's also becoming from me and several users of the Facebook group. Now, I'll make it very simple what I'm like. I'm front on. I will confront you, I will ask you and try and work out any differences that happen between you and me. I don't bullshit around, and I don't apologise for that. Sometimes I go a bit too far, and I apologise for that, but I'm a very direct person. If I've got an issue with someone, I bring it up with them. If you don't like that, probably best to stop talking to me, because I will confront you if I've got an issue, and I welcome you to confront me if you have an issue, which actually, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but Luke McAllister, he had an issue with me last week. We spoke in private messenger. 20 minutes later, everything was sweet. So I can be dealt with. So don't be afraid to talk to me if you've got an issue, or if you think I've done hard by, and let's work it out. And that actually leads me to this week's If Only I Could Swing. If Only I Could Swing Supin segment is back. But this week I'm not really swinging the sledgehammer so much. It's probably more like a toothpick swing. Not as ferocious as my previous attempts, but hopefully it hits the point across just as much. It's sort of a continuation from last week with the swing with BC, and continues on that explanation of myself. But I'm actually really disappointed in a few people this week, and I'll mention their names in a second. But I just want to say, people want to make judgments without knowing the full story. So, if you want to know the full story on anything, ask me and I'll tell you. And then, you feel free to make any opinion you want. That sledgehammer swing last week that I did, there was a lot of backstory to that. It's a short show. I didn't want to drag on too much. You only see the last bits of it, and the reason why you see the last bits of it is I actually had a private message conversation with BC where I tried to solve the issues, and he just basically acted like a tool and wanted to play around and make his jokes like he's always does. And this leads to the first, like I said, I'm going to call it a toothpick swing this week. I hope I say the name right, David Knapp. You're the first one being swung at this week, mate, and the reason for that is we had quite a detailed private message chat, and it's actually ironic how you had a go at me for one comment that I made, which basically I suggested you were kissing BC's ass, and you said don't take that tone with me. So you were quite quick to get angry at me when you first had an issue with me, but then it's not okay for me to have a go at BC when he continually texts me time after time after time, and most of the time it's not even to my face. So I guess this segment, If Only I Could Swing, I'm probably swinging at the and I don't want to say it because it's too harsh, but swinging at the hypocrites. David Knapp, I love you. You're a good friend of mine, and we have great chats, but you got it wrong this week, mate. And like I said, you got angry at me for that one simple comment, yet you expect me to keep calm after everything that BC said to me. I don't think that's very fair. And on that note, the second person who's getting swung at is President himself, Glenn Muscat. Now, the reason why he's getting swung at is a little bit different, and that's because he had an altercation with, I don't know if he's current or former, I think he's still a current user, Mo Chi, who, we had a bit of a rivalry, me, him and Glenn, with FIFA 14. And when I posted about thrashing Glenn Muscat in the game, which was all in jest over an argument me and Glenn had, which was, we were just trolling each other, to be honest. 8 came on and had a go at Glenn and basically was calling him a noob and that he was shit and blah 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 blah. Well, Glenn erupted after that, and basically they're not talking because of that argument. Now, the reason why I bring that up, Glenn, is you erupted over something so trivial, and yes, my argument was trivial, but I was being talked about behind my back and I was having my character slandered Well, you basically got in an argument over a FIFA game and it had no relevance to your character whatsoever. And yet you posted that it was inappropriate for me to what I said about BC when you're not even his friend or anything. So I don't even know where that come from. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have done FTP Weekly. So, pretty disappointed in you, mate. And I won't mention names on the forums because that's just going to cause a bit more of a stink. But there were a couple of people on the forums that wanted to chip in with their thoughts as well. And they wanted to go on about mucking around about the orders stuff up. That somehow got to BC that I blamed him for it. If you've read the post, and BC I know doesn't, and I know Muff doesn't, but I would have thought that the other users were smart enough to know. The only thing I said was it was ironic that after I had an argument with a mod, and I said a mod at the time, that these orders stuffed up. Now, if you just want to take that as me blaming a mod for the order stuff up, that's on you, not on me. But if you're going to comment on a situation, at least have some sort of form of idea on what's going on, instead of blindlessly following mods because they're mods. I actually had another mod message me about the issues that went on the forums between me and BC early in the week, and there was no issue. They just said to me, keep the tone down a bit, maybe change your signature. That was all. So don't know why you're getting in the big stink about it if the mods themselves aren't. Anyway, that's the show for this week. So long.